Hello, everybody. What is good? What's poppin'? What's Gucci? What is up? However you say it, where you're from. I'm Magic Hobbit, and I'm back with an absolutely top tier story for you guys today. It is going to be fucking awesome, and I really hope you guys enjoy. With that said, let's just get right into it. We're not going to waste any time today. So, just like it says in the title, this story is about how I got busted in the 6th grade. Well, not really busted, but more or less how I got narked on in the 6th grade, And I don't know if everybody has this. Like, I don't know if this is a thing in the States or anything like that, but I know here in Canada, in Ontario, like, especially, there's a thing called, like, a program that you go through in the 6th grade called DARE, where basically it's a stupid program where a cop comes to your school and tries to teach you about, like, drugs and alcohol abuse and, like, just trying to spread awareness about stuff like this to fucking, like, 12, 13-year-olds, I might add. Like, in my personal opinion, I think you're way too young to be learning and talking about this stuff. So you're just, I feel like it's just opening their minds to it at this point, like, they wouldn't, me personally, I wasn't even thinking about anything like drugs or anything like that until after I had gone through the program. And then by the end of the program, I was like, you know what, fuck it, I want to try smoking weed. So this is how this all ended up coming to fruition. So when I finally decided, all right, you know what, I want to try smoking weed, I was like, I gotta find somebody to get it from first, because you gotta keep in mind, it's my first time buying it, first time even thinking about doing it. I'm 12, 13 years old, and I am just like, who the fuck can I get this shit from? So I had a girl in my class's older brother I had talked to, and he had told me, like, hey man, like, I smoke weed, like, if you ever want to try it, or like you ever need some, like you ever thinking about doing it, just let me know, and I could probably get it for you. So that is immediately who I thought of. And I'm broke, so I'm like, okay, gotta figure out how to get some money now. I go up to my mom and I tell her, like, hey, I'm going out with some pals. I need $5 for the store. So my mom gives me $5 for the store. And I'm just like, you know what? Like, I have no idea how much I need, but hopefully $5 is enough. And thank God, $5 will get you a nickel bag. So I take my $5 and I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be my first time smoking weed. So I don't want to do this alone. Like, I gotta find somebody to smoke this shit with. So I hit up my buddy, and we're gonna call him Zach. That's obviously not his real name, but that's what we're gonna call him. So I hit up Zach, and I'm like, yo, bro, I want to try smoking weed for the first time. I already got to connect. Like, fucking, are you down to do it with me? And he's like, fuck yeah, man, let's go. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, this was probably the biggest mistake I could have possibly made, because my buddy's mom was like a really big, like, helicopter mom, if that makes sense. Like, she was like, you gotta be home in like 2 hours. Like, if you're not here for dinner, I'm coming looking for your ass, like that kind of shit. So when he said that he was down and able to come out, I was fucking stoked. I'm like, no way, your mom's not being a fucking total bitch today. Like, cool, let's go hang out. Let's rock this shit, man. So me and Zach link up, and we hit up the plug, and I'm like, all right, dude, like, I think I'm ready to try smoking weed. Like, you got any for me? And he's like, yeah, man, come over to the crib. Like, I got you. And he lived literally just down the street from me, so it was like not even a 2-minute walk, or like a 45-second skateboard is what it took for us just to whip down the street, and we're at this kid's house. So we're waiting outside of his house. We text him, let him know that we're there. We're waiting for a couple minutes. He comes outside. I give him the money. He gives me the bag, and we deuce each other up, and me and my buddy are fucking out of there. Now we're walking over to the park a couple blocks away from my house, and we're walking and talking, thinking about how we're gonna smoke this shit, right? Because we didn't know about bongs or anything. All I knew about were pipes and rolling papers, and we were trying to figure out, okay, how are we gonna get one or the other? We're walking down the street, and next thing you fucking know, you wouldn't fucking believe it. It would be my luck or our luck just for this to happen. This kid's mom comes skirting up beside us in the fucking car and is like, hey, you better get the fuck in this car right fucking now. You were supposed to be home half an hour ago, even though she literally said to him, like, hey, be home for like 6. I'm pretty sure it was like 5:30 at this point, but she's snapping. She's like, get the fuck in the car right fucking now. And I'm like, well, shit. There goes my plan, and there goes my buddy that I was going to smoke this with. And like I said earlier, I didn't want to smoke it alone. This was my first time ever smoking it, so I'm like, all right, might as well do what any logical kid my age would do, And what I did is I hid it in my fucking room where I knew nobody would find it. It was deep inside my sock drawer, inside of like 6 different fucking socks, because it was so sketched out that my mom was gonna find it or something like that. So I had it pretty fucking well hidden. At least I thought, anyway. Now, like I said before, there were a couple of mistakes that I personally made which led to this series of events unfolding. The first one being that I invited Zach. The next one being that I had a really good friend that we're gonna call Heather, and I trusted her a lot, or at least I thought I could trust her a lot. So I called her up and I'm like, hey, like, I just picked up some weed because I'm seriously thinking about trying it, and I just thought I'd let you know because you're a really good friend of mine, and I figured like, hey, why not let you in on the secret, the little bit of information that I got here. So folks, as you can probably guess, that's mistake number 2. She then decided to go and get 2 other girls from our class and walk to my house, knock on the door, and tell my mom that she had forgotten something in my bedroom and that she just needed to go upstairs and get it. So my mom just went ahead and let them all inside of my house. So what she must have done is go into my bedroom, find my sock drawer, go through all the socks until she found the one that I had it hidden in, and then proceeded to take it and texted me saying, hey, link up with me and the girls at the school. And I'm like, okay, like, I'll come hang out with you guys at the school. So off I go to go and meet them, not having any fucking clue that they're trying to pull some kind of strange intervention on me. So I pull up to the back of the school to meet them on my skateboard because that's the way I got around back then. And sure as shit, the 3 of them are standing back there just waiting to fucking ream me out for this shit. And I was not ready for it. Next thing you know, they're giving me this big long speech about how they're not going to let me ruin my life and how weed is a gateway drug, and telling me all this stupid bullshit, the same shit that the DARE officer was essentially telling all of us, as if I didn't already know. And as if what she was telling us wasn't exactly what piqued my interest to begin with. So I'm like, okay, whatever, like, do what you gotta do then. And what they did is there was a drainage pipe, like kind of like a sewer grate for like the rain, in the very middle of the playground in the back of the school. So what they did is they looked at me and said, we're not letting you smoke this. So what she did is she pulled it out of her top and then dropped it into the sewer grate. And I thought that was going to be the end of it. I'm like, oh great, they took my weed, that's going to be the end of it. It was not the end of it. What ended up happening next was the one girl that was with them, we're not going to use her real name, we'll call her Maddie, I guess. Maddie decided to go ahead and be a massive narc and tell the principal about what exactly went down, who was involved, and where the weed had been thrown. So what happened? The fucking DARE officer decides to go down into the sewer grate over the one weekend and somehow, some fucking how, managed to find and fish out that fucking nickel bag. So now I'm completely fucked. So not only did they go and steal my weed and throw it away on me, but I also got narked on. So not only was I not gonna get to smoke it, I was about to get in a fucking world of shit too. Fuck me, right? What ended up happening is the Monday comes around and me and Zach get dragged into the principal's office. The DARE officer is obviously there, and they're trying to get us to spill all the beans because they're trying to figure out more than anything who the hell is selling like weed to a couple of 12 and 13-year-olds. That's what they really care about. But I knew that snitches get stitches, and Zach was with me, and when he was beside me, while he was with me, he didn't say shit, and because I wasn't saying shit, he wasn't saying shit. So the principal and the DARE officer decided to come up with a different tactic. They were like, all right, we're gonna schedule you guys to both come down to the police station at separate times. And that's when they decided to interrogate us, and that was a little bit fucky. So they just scheduled it for the Friday, and this talk or meeting at the school, I guess, was on the Monday. So the week is going by, and I'm at home and suspended, obviously, and just sketching right out. My mom had given me a whole bunch of shit, and so I was grounded. I wasn't allowed to fucking play video games. I wasn't allowed to be on YouTube. I couldn't do a fucking thing. It really fucking sucked. The Thursday comes around, and I hear a knock at my door when I'm sitting at home, and I'm like, okay, I wonder, like, what the fuck who could that be? Because all my friends obviously knew that I was on lockdown. I wasn't allowed to go nowhere. They obviously knew that because they go to school with me, so they knew what was going on. So I'm like, who could possibly be at my door? And this kid that we had gotten like the weed from and his mom are at my front door. And immediately I'm thinking, fuck, because I knew Zach had been scheduled to go to the police station the day before me. So the second that I seen this kid at my front door, I knew that Zach must have fucking spilled all the beans. And that's exactly what happened, because his mom comes in and she's like, hey, did you come and try to buy weed off of my kid, because they're trying to suspend him from school and all this stuff, and he's looking at me from across, like he's behind his mom, and I can see him, he locks eyes with me, and I can see him kind of word with his mouth, like just say like it was grass, like just say it looked like grass. And that's exactly what I did. I told his mom exactly what he wanted me to tell his mom, that he had sold me grass and that he had not actually sold me real weed, which indeed he did. That's not really the point, though. The point is that I knew from that very moment that Zach must have narked, so the police probably knew already exactly what had happened. So the next day, when I'm supposed to go to the police station, we go and we're waiting for the officer in the middle of the station. I'm freaking out, and she comes out and takes me into what they had and what they would, I guess, what they would consider their interrogation room. And what it was pretty sketchy. Looked like some shit off the first 48, but like no comfy chairs, nothing. Like there was one chair and it was bolted to the very corner of the room, like to the floor, so you couldn't move the chair. And there was cameras in each corner, and it was just an all white room. So I'm sitting in this chair, I got 4 cameras staring at me, and she's just kind of like, look, I know exactly what went on. She starts dropping names and telling me everything, basically word for word what happened. And at this point, I'm like, well, do I deny it? Like, can I even deny it? Like, she already knows exactly what the fuck happened. What do I even do here? So because I'm an idiot, I tried to play off the hey, it's just grass card, because she obviously dropped names and knew where I got it from and everything. And I said, okay, well, it's just grass. Like, he already told me he didn't say, like, it was just grass. And she then proceeds to tell me, because I didn't know at this point, she says, hey, we went down in that sewer grate and we got it. And she then pulls the bag out, whips it on the table, and says, this is real weed. Like, there's no denying it. At this point, all I can think is, well, what's going to happen now? I'm thinking, like, am I going to get suspended? Or are you guys going to keep me in jail for the weekend? Like, that was my worst thought, was that I was going to end up in the bucket for the weekend. Even though it was only over $5 worth of weed, I still was thinking the worst possible case scenario, that I was going to end up in jail somehow. But obviously that is not what happened. What did end up happening is they suspended me for 2 weeks, and then they took my DARE certificate away. And what that essentially means, because the whole purpose of this DARE thing in general was it went towards part of your like total health mark, or your grade for health class in grade 6. So I almost failed grade 6 health class because of this whole incident, but I didn't. I just barely passed because I did do all the work for everything else. And that, my friends, is a story about how I got narked on in the 6th grade and almost ended up failing health class. All over half of a gram that, in the end, I didn't even get to end up smoking. With all of that said and done, I really do hope you guys enjoyed the video and the story time, and if you did, please drop a like and a sub, because I would immensely appreciate it. It really does help the channel out a lot, and it helps it grow, which is what all we're trying to do around here. We're just trying to tell stories and have a good time and play lots of video games. Thank all of you for coming down to the Shire, and have a beautiful rest of your day, and as always, deuces.